All right, family, welcome back to the So What Show, guys. About to go and do some more research here into street poison, the biography of Iceberg Slim. All right, took the cover off of it. All right, so let's get started. This is the introduction. And before we start, like, share, and hit that notification bell at the top for the next episode. Let's get started with one at the very top with the Rangers around. All right. On the afternoon of April 29th, 1992, America was shocked to learn that the 4 white police officers accused of brutally beating Rodney King had been acquitted of assault and excessive force charges. Well, if you wasn't around about that time, we can get you prep for that too. All right. Let's go into it. You don't know who Rodney King is. You're gonna know today. Look at it. Look it out. Right there. That's Rodney right there. A year earlier, King, an African-American construction worker, had led the officers on a high-speed chase through Los Angeles. It had ended up with 4 policemen beating King with batons for over a minute, inflicting bruises all over his body and breaking his ankle and facial bones. See if we can look that video up. Rodney King beating. This ain't nothing new. It just ain't had the technology like they do have now. And then most people, you know, they was too scared and chicken to videotape a lot of this stuff that was going on. There it is right there. Okay, I think we got it. We got it right here on YouTube. Where is it at? Let's check it out, family. No, we want the video. Okay then, since y'all want to do it like that, let's go to YouTube. Guess we gotta go all the way up here then. Let's look at this again. Some of us, we ain't seen this in a while. You see something new in it. Check this one out. Has been identified by YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audience. So if your children are around, viewer discretion is advised.
It was one of the most disturbing things that we've seen. The videotape being from many Los Angeles residents discovery. It was like the first time that he was shot.
First time. See, nothing new. Look at that. Saying it was the first one. It wasn't the first time. They've been doing that all the way back since we got here.
With that video, that Rodney
Can you imagine being buried to your neck and molasses poured over you, to be ate alive by ants? Pregnant woman tied up on a tree and they cut her stomach open and the baby fall out with the guts and blood and everything else, food, and then the baby on the ground, ain't even born yet, can't cry or nothing. Go up to the baby and smash the baby head. I got another one for you. What about being set on fire, alive, and they taking pictures and then taking pieces of your body home for souvenirs? Ain't nothing new. Let's keep going. You know, you probably can't hear this clear on this thing. You know, I'm thinking about it. That's the Rodney King thing there. Okay, let's go. A year earlier, King. Wait a minute. No singing. I don't want to hear no singing. I don't want to hear that either. All right. A year earlier, King, an African-American construction worker, had led the officers on a high-speed chase through Los Angeles. It had ended with 4 policemen beating King with batons for over a minute, inflicting bruises all over his body and breaking his ankle and facial bones. A local man had recorded the whole incident, and the 90-second tape was played and replayed across the globe, making it arguably the world's first viral video. Police brutality, problem that had plagued Black urban communities in secret throughout the 20th century, was finally out in the open. They did a police brutality on me. And except for the most hardened, that'll be in my book. And except for the most hardened racists, everyone seemed to agree that the officers were guilty. Black America wanted justice. And in a rare moment, it seemed like they just might get it. when the police was acquitted of nearly all charges. Hey, man, I want to hear that. When the police was acquitted of nearly all charges, much of Black Los Angeles reacted what many viewed as justifiable rage. Looters raided businesses across South Central Los Angeles and then set them ablaze. Shouldn't have did that. It's in your own community. Should have united to go and change the policies and the laws. That's what got the mayor take care of his business, or you out of there, and keep going up. The senator, if you don't do it, you out of there. But burning up your own neighborhood, that's just don't make no sense. That's butt backwards. Butt backwards, okay? Or I'm gonna just go and say it. It's ass backwards, all right? That's what it is. You don't burn down your own community where you gotta live. You're gonna have to go get some eggs and some bread and some food. Now you done burnt down your store in your community. Now you gotta go all the way across town, burn up the little bit of gas you got just to get some food. You burn down your barber shop. Now you ain't got no barber shop. Hopefully the man is still in the town. Now you gotta cut your own hair, get yourself a 187. Just go straight bald head. You can't even get the salon lady to come in. So you just gotta go afro. Get your girlfriend to braid your hair if she got the time. Burn down your place of employment. People gotta work there. You burn that down. Now you done took away the food out of somebody's house. They ain't got no place to go and make no money to take care of their bills and utilities and the children, get some clothes or whatever else. Now they gotta go all the way across town burning their gas if they got it to get a job at. Just make things harder for your own community. It's not the way to go. Let's keep going. Commuters were pulled from the vehicles and beaten with bricks. So you're pulling commuters out their cars and beating them with bricks as if they was the police officers. If you're gonna do something physically, I mean, why would you just pick somebody who ain't did it? That just don't make sense. If you're gonna beat somebody, beat the person who did it. Not telling you to go out and do that to no police officers, but I mean, dang, you just picking out anybody. Well, you would do. How would you like if the police would just do you like that? Man, I didn't rob nobody. Yes, you did. My name ain't Billy. Yes, your name Bill. My name ain't Daquan. Yes, your name Daquan, and just start beating you up, and you ain't the one did it. How would you feel? You don't do people like that. Beaten with bricks, car stereos, and ball hammers. By nightfall, the riot was completely out of control. It continued for 6 days. And when the smoke finally cleared, over 50 people were dead. And the city has suffered $1 billion in damage. So it's gonna take $1 billion just to get y'all back booty. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all most likely moved up out of that bad boy, $1 billion damage. If you could move out, the ones that had the money move out, I'm pretty sure they just moved out, man. This just ain't worth, man. I can't even go down the street. It burnt down the whole block, man. It just burnt down. Burnt down the library, can't go read a book. They done burnt down the McDonald's, can't even go get me a fry. Can't get no coffee, donut in the morning. You burning up everything that ain't did nothing to you. That don't make sense. That don't make sense, family. Across town, at Brockman Medical Center on the first night of the riot. Robert Iceberg Slim Beck watched the violence unfold on television from his hospital bed. It looks like the revolution is starting, he said to his second wife, Diane. He wondered if he would live long enough to see it unfold. Born less than a year before Chicago's July 27, 1919 riot, July 27, 1919 riot. Check that out. Is that the one? No, that couldn't have been James Brown one, is it? Let's go check that out. (1919) riot. Yep, 1919 race riots in Chicago. Look back 100 years later. Lane Massacre, the bloodiest racial conflict in U.S. history. Let's check this out for a minute. I don't like all the commentary. I just want to see the action. Let's see what we got. Okay. Like a Million Man March out in that bad boy. That's white folks out there enjoying themselves. (23 blacks and 19 whites, 15 whites, or something like that. So that was 52. 1919 riot, the most violent of the 25 race riots that exploded during a season known as the Red Summer. The Red Summer. Let's check it out. Be all up on here. To the Red Summer. I know Red Pill be talking about this one a lot. But look on here, they ain't too much putting nothing out on here. Okay. Okay. Red Summer. Beck had lived through all the major clashes between whites and blacks during the 20th century. Since the late 1960s, he had been an admirer of the radical literature of James Baldwin and the philosophies of the Black Panther Party. In his own writings, he had been calling explicitly for a Black revolution since the publication of his essay collection, The Naked Soul of Iceberg Slim. Yeah, I read that book in 1971. Now it seemed like revolution was finally here, and he was both eager and fearless to witness the birth of a new social order. Gangrene had taken hold of his feet. of his foot. If you don't know what gangrene is, we give you some education on this one. You don't know what gangrene looks like. I know you probably heard people talking about it. That's gangrene right there. Gangrene had taken hold of his foot. Had my auntie's father had to get his taken off. Interesting that he got that back in the day a lot. I don't hear too many people getting gangrene nowadays. However, and the doctors told him that based on how he looked, they would have to amputate his leg to save his life. He was reluctant. He wanted to wait to see what the medical test said about the gangrene severity before allowing them to take the leg. He would not live long enough to see the results. Despite his 73 years of age, Beck was still a bit vain about his good looks. It was the last holdover from his glory days as a pimp. He almost never left the house in anything but a silk shirt and a pair of trousers with a razor-sharp crease iron into the front. When he was still healthy, he walked 6 miles a day through the sprawling streets of Los Angeles in an effort to keep his 6-foot, 2-inch frame trim. For a man who had pimped across the Midwest for 25 years, served 4 prison sentences in reformatories and federal penitentiaries, and survived to tell his tale in a collection of epic novels, the ideal of living out his final days as a one-legged man was both terrifying and humiliating. He didn't want to let them amputate unless it was absolutely necessary. As it turned out, it was. The next day, as South Central Los Angeles burned and smoke filled the skies like some ancient funeral rite, Black America's best-selling writer, the literally godfather of hip-hop and definitive icon of pimp cool, Robert Beck, passed away after his long struggle with diabetes. Transformation moment of Beck's life came in 1967 with the publication of his memoir, Pimp, the Story of My Life. Under the pseudonym Iceberg Slim, something like that. He and his first wife, Betty, Diane, and I said, this is his third wife, a white woman from Texas. Betty, all my exes live in Texas. Betty, a white woman, his wife, first wife, originally conceived of the book as a type of living room theater to entertain and educate the young children. Pimp was Beck's masterpiece, a gritty, mostly autobiographical account of his childhood and his criminal enterprises as a pimp from a quarter of a century. Pimp evokes a vivid picture of Black America's urban underworld from the Great Depression to the turbulent 1960s. It is written in Black street slang so obscure that there is a glossary in the back to translate words like mud kicker, meaning prostitute, crumb crusher, meaning baby, and hog, meaning Cadillac. Beck was a born observer and mimic. He educated himself from subjects ranging from psychoanalysis to macroeconomics. With his perfect memory for dialogue, and encyclopedic knowledge of topics he had mastered from reading in prison libraries. He gave a voice to what he called the street people of America. A strong case can be made that more than any other cultural figure of the past 50 years, Beck transformed American popular culture and Black literature, toes, of the 20th century. It sold millions of copies during its first few years of publication in its mass market paperback edition. And according to its publisher, it is the best-selling book by Black American author of all time. It became a classic on military bases, in American prisons, and in Black neighborhoods coast to coast. It inspired dozens of Black authors, such as Donald Goines, Odie Hawkins, Joseph Nazel, and Omar Fletcher, to write their own stories of pimps, hustlers, and Black Panther revolutionaries. In the process, these literary apostles launched an underground, literary renaissance of Black crime fiction through Holloway House in Los Angeles. In the 21st century, writers like Sister Souljah, Vicki M. Stryker, and Wahida Clark re-imaged the style and content of Beck's pimp autobiography for a female audience, thus giving the rise to street fiction. You don't know who Sister Souljah is? Let's get acquainted. Sister Souljah. Sister Souljah in the house. Sister Souljah in the house. Sister Souljah in the house. The Sister Souljah in the house. Sister Souljah. Sister Souljah. There she go right there. Sister Souljah. She got a book too. A Moment of Silence. A Moment of Silence. Sister Souljah. Who else they say on here? Sister Souljah. Vicky. 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 She may not be on here. Like they covered Vicky up. That's her right there. Vicky didn't take too many pictures. She ain't been archived. Wahida Clark. Okay. First time seeing her. She got Payback as a Mother. Uncle Yaya. Thug Loving. Thug Matrimony. Thug 7. Every thug needs a lady. Enemy Bloodline. All right. Thug Loving. Often self-published and sold on street corner tables and online, street fiction is now one of the driving forces of the Black book market, with hundreds and perhaps even thousands of titles by dozens of authors. They just flooded us with Thug Loving. Flood us with some entrepreneurs and Black businessmen. Beck invented the figure of the pimp that is now an ever-present fixture in hip-hop songs and videos. The first gangster rappers, Ice-T and Ice Cube. Well, we all know who Ice Cube is, right? You know who Ice Cube is, don't you? Yeah, right there. Got the whole screen. Yeah. That Ice Cube right there, that part. All right. Ice Cube. Man, where we at? We over here. Chose their monikers in honor of Iceberg Slim. His new video out um, talks a little bit about pimping too. Back in the day, though, you know how he put his little twist flavor to it. I like the video. It's pretty tight, as far as I'm concerned. The first gangster rappers, Ice-T and Ice Cube, chose their monikers in honor of Iceberg Slim, and they molded their ultra cool gangster rap personas after the prodigious prodigiousness, I don't know, of Pimp. Jay-Z, the most successful rap mogul of all time. You know who that is, right? Watch when I just put the J in there. That one right there, all over. Jay-Z, the most successful rap mogul of all time, who even has connections to the White House, referred to himself as Iceberg Slim when he was getting his start as a rap artist. The comedian Dave Chappelle. You all know who Dave Chappelle is, right? You know who Dave is, right? That one right there, all over. That one right there. Featured Iceberg Slim in his stand-up routines, calling Pimp the capitalist manifesto. Chris Rock. You all know who Chris Rock is, right? Uh-oh. Chris, you gotta put the whole Chris in there. Let's see. There you go. All that right there, that's him. That one right there. Chris Rock. At the wrap of every one of his movies, hands out copies of Pimp to all cast and crew members, telling them all the questions of life can be answered if you read this book. Paperback original that has been translated into a dozen languages and has never gone out of print. Pimp remains one of the most important pieces of American literature of the 20th century, but one that is still widely overlooked by the American mainstream. Beck's triumph with the publication of Pimp was overshadowed by poverty and isolation in the final years of his life. At the height of the blaxploitation era of the 1970s, an era in part ushered in by white screenwriters who stole outright from Pimp. Beck enjoyed the public spotlight for a brief moment. In a dozen years following Pimp, he produced an impressive and influential canon, 5 novels, a short story collection, and an assortment of essays. He appeared on a variety of talk shows and was profiled in numerous newspaper and magazine articles. Anthropologists interviewed him for PhD dissertation on the world of the Black Pimp, and he served as narrator for documentaries on the dangers of street life. His second novel, Trick Baby, we seen that, was made into a big budget film starring veteran actor Mel Stewart in 1982. Who's Mel? See if he pop up. Is he popping up yet? Is he popping up yet? There you go. There a little bit. You're up there enough to know who he is. I don't never remember the guy. For my time, you know, I guess this the one where he was the pimp right here. For my time, man. Yo, Mr. Stewart. And he even released a prototypical hip hop album titled Reflections in 1976. In it, Beck delivers Pimp Toast in his haunting baritone voice over the jazz stylings of the Red Holloway chord. Reflections. I would play that. I guess we could for a minute. Let me see if it'll come up. Do. Let me see, Robert Beck. Where's your Iceberg Slim? Iceberg Slim Reflections. Okay, we got it, fam. Check it out for a minute. I guess we can just play that. Ain't no singing. All right, we'll roll with that.
Now, some of you guys
Okay, here we go.
might be surprised at what I'm about to say and say. Who is this lame who says he knows the game? And where did he learn to play? Well, I'd like to tell of how I fell and the trick fate played on me. So gather round and I'll run it down.
All right. Enough of that. Back to the list. I'm going down there somewhere. Do this. Do this. Let's go. All right, let's get on back into this. In it, Beck delivers Pimp Toast in his haunting baritone voice over the jazz stylings of the Red Holloway Quartet. Ice-T regularly cites this album as one of the main influences on his hip-hop style. Despite these successes, Beck could never quite cross over into the mainstream. He published solely with the same mass market paperback press, and his books were not reviewed in any major publications. They could be found at liquor stores, newsstands, and barbershops, but were rarely sold at bookstores. They were marketed by the white owners of Holloway House as sensationalist pulp fiction, like Blacked Up Harlequin romance novels of pulp detection magazines of the 1930s. And one of the many ironies of his life, Beck was ultimately pimped out by a literary industry that treated him and his works as a disposable commodity. That's what I was just thinking, like tissue. Use black folks to write pimp things and things that's derogatory for our culture and make millions off of it. And after they make millions off of it, discard it as trash, which is something they tried to do with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And really did it with R&B. And hip hop took over the R&B, so they jumped over. They couldn't make no more money off the R&B like they was. Freddie Jackson up there singing, thought he gonna have him a long career with the R&B. And then next thing you know, here come the hip hop. He hip it to the beat bop double the bang. And he like singing, Freddie over there singing, thinking he about to be groove, gonna be at the top of the charts for a while. And next thing you know, LL Cool J and them popped up on like, who the heck is these dudes? Y'all listening to that? I don't even understand what they saying. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it was. And then what happened to the R&B? Discarded them like tissue pretty much, except for the ones that could cross over with the hip hop, like Bell Biv DeVoe and things of that nature. But the rest of them, Luther Vandross, all that real soul music, they kind of got dropped off, laid off. We'll get back to you. We're gonna put it out shortly and all that type of stuff. Hip hop just took over. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, as far as them artists, they let them write all them books as far as down in our culture with the drugs and the pimps and the whores, whatever you want to call them. I don't call them hoes as far as I'm concerned. They ain't no hoes to me, because when they get with me, they become some pros, professionals. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned. You ain't got to get out there and shake your body to make the money. But if you can use your body to make the money, but make the money by using your mind. You ain't got to go out there and shake or use your behind to get your grind all the time, in the night and in the sunshine. All right? Let's keep on going. Where we at, family? Where we at? I know this, oh yeah. Beck's frustrations with his publishers finally drove him into hiding in the late 1970s. He stopped publishing his books and he disappeared from public view altogether to write in solitude. He wrote 2 unpublished novels at the end of his life. The first was titled Shitani's Sister, which he composed in longhand and then gave the pages to Diane, the other wife, who typed them up. Part pimp autobiography and part detective novel, Shitani's Sister was to be one of Beck's greatest triumphs of popular fiction. He didn't want Holloway House to publish the book, and he died before he could find another publisher. Diane promised him that she would never allow Holloway House to get its hands on it. So Shitani's Sister was locked away in a drawer for 20 years, 2 decades. The second novel was titled Night Train to Sugar Hill. I wonder was that with the movie? No, I doubt that was the movie. But let's see, Night Train. To Sugar Hill. Yeah, it is. Interesting. Night Train to Sugar Hill. Which Beck detected to Diane in the late 1980s after his eyes started to fail. A rougher manuscript than Shitani's sister. Night Train is nonetheless a deeply personal reflection on Beck's own life. It is written from the perspective of an aging criminal who, like the author, wants to document all of the good and bad things he has done in his life before he passes away. Beck copyrighted the manuscript in 1990 and then passed it over to his oldest daughter, Camille, telling her also not to allow Holloway House to publish it. She died of a drug overdose in 2010, and the book remains unpublished to this day. For the last 10 years of his life, Beck lived in seclusion in a second-floor studio apartment on Crenshaw Boulevard in South Central. Well, we all know about Crenshaw pretty much if you know about Nipsey, right? Right? Nipsey Hussle. All right. Beck had lived with Diane early in their marriage, but also he got older. He just felt more comfortable living alone. After all the years living in solitary pimp pads and prison cells, he came to prefer the quiet seclusion of his tiny room on Crenshaw. His apartment had an east-facing picture window. From that vantage, he could look out at the happenings in the neighborhood. His daughters from his first marriage, Camille, Melody, and Misty, still visited him. Yeah, I knew a girl named Misty. Yep, fine too. Mike Tyson regularly came around seeking advice after he became heavyweight champion of the world. Well, we all know who Mike Tyson is, right? Iron Mike Tyson. Yeah, that one right there, all over. That one right there. Despite the public perception that Tyson was a thug, he was actually a ravenous reader of philosophy and history. Did you know that? Mike Tyson read. Look at that. Knocking people out. Mike Tyson said, knock you out and read. All right. And what was he reading? Philosophy and history. And he loved pimp. He looked to Beck as a kind of surrogate father figure. And the aging pimp tried to advise him on money, women, and crafting a public persona. Diane would come down from her home in Silver Lake to bring him groceries and pick him up from doctor's appointments. She also drove him around South Los Angeles in his 1948 Lincoln Continental. 1948 Lincoln Continental. Heard of that before. Lincoln Continental. I know it ain't the ones at the top. There you go, down there. What I'm talking about. Lincoln Continental. The last relic of his days as a famous author. Even though he was in his 70s, people still recognize him on the street. They ran up to the car to pay homage to the man they knew as Iceberg Slim. To a wide range of readers, Black entertainers, hip hop artists, street fiction authors, prisoners, would-be hustlers, military personnel, and white hipsters. Iceberg Slim is the definitive voice of Black urban life. To his critics, many feminists, the literary establishment, some Black Panther radicals, and much of mainstream America, Iceberg Slim is a misogynists who wrote trashy paperbacks that promote violence against vulnerable young women. Each of these conflicting outlooks has some truth to it. Look at it today. Men out here wanting to be pimps, hitting and slapping on women and beating on women with your little soft tail. Why don't you do it to a man? Why don't you do it to me before you hit on that woman? Oh, pussy. Oh, little putty cat. Oh, putty cat over there hitting on women. Let's keep on going. Need to get your tail beat. Trying to be nice about it. Each of these conflicting outlooks has some truth to it. However, the real story of Beck's life is more complex and contradictory than either of these simplest views suggest. He was a victim of sexual trauma, convict scholar, drug addict, Chicago pimp, best-selling author, father, and would-be revolutionary. Man, what's a would-be revolutionary? I want to be in the revolution, but I don't know about no would-be revolutionary. I would be in the revolution, but this is not the revolution, okay? It's either revolution or it ain't no revolution. Would-be revolution, man. You don't want to see that. That's pretty bloody. His life story, which spans from the start of the Great Migration to the Rodney King riots of 1992, provides a dark reflection of Black America's urban development and decline in the 20th century. That being stated, family, I know y'all liking this book because I'm looking at the statistics. So I know y'all checking this one out. We're going to be going into chapter 1, his childhood, on the next one. And that's 1918, 1931. So that was what, a year to 1931. That's a year after Master Fard Muhammad claimed Black people independent in 1930. So Beck was around back then. Beck been around for a good minute. He passed away right before I got out of high school. That's interesting. Iceberg Slim. Matter of fact, you know what? I picked up Iceberg Slim around 92, right? Right around that year too. Around that time, I picked this book up. So I thought I had seen it when I was up in Maine. I'm like, is that Robert Beck? So there must not have been Robert Beck up there unless he faked his death. He right over there in Los Angeles. You know how they do that. You know, he did cut his leg off and took off and went to Maine. He told y'all he was dead because he didn't want y'all to know he wanted to go out as a pimp. So I could see that. Interesting. Right up there. Robert Beck, see that? Robert Beck, they thought he died up in Los Angeles. Robert Beck got his leg decapitated off and he wanted to keep his pride and stuff on it. Faked his death and went on up there to Prescott, Maine, chilling in a big old house out there with the millionaires. See, never know. What if his woman was a white woman at that? Ain't that something? But anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying, I thought I seen him up there. That's all. I didn't know he had passed away in 92 though. 92, and I was there in 2002. So that's 10 years later. I don't know if he was still around without a leg and all that. They did have a hospital up there close by and all that stuff. You never know. You got people all around faking their death. Elvis faked his death. That bad boy became god dang on Christian minister. He wanted to go out on top, doing this type of stuff, He was getting overweight. The bad boys, they had to give him drugs to get out there on the stage. And then he was so hyped and stuff, doing all this. And then when he got off, he was still up, souped up. They had to give him a drug to, get him down so he can chill out. I mean, they was messing Elvis up, man. Elvis was all messed up. Some even think he was alien. That bad boy was morphing and stuff. Unless they put some alien out there, allow the alien go out there and perform for him. Elvis over there then left the scene, and they said, well, let's get one of these morphing aliens, get one of these reptiles to go out there and look like them and be him, because they got in, they put, oh man, get them looks, put them in the drugs to get them on that level where the reptile can go inside of his body on that fourth dimension and take over his body and perform. And you wouldn't know the difference, because the alien and the ones with the aliens is using Elvis to help in propagating their agenda. And what's their agenda? The casinos, getting that money. And Elvis was bringing in money and money and money. Man, hey, I don't think I'm too far off from the truth. If that would be the case, that would make most sense as far as him looking like a alien. And then an alien even won't buy him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Checking them out and stuff. His eyes want morphing and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bad boy ain't dead, or he ain't dead. I already researched that bad boy. He over there preaching Christian. Got his voice. He done came up. He be doing stuff like other folks. He even got up there and got what the dude looked like Elvis and went to singing his own song. But he supposed to be a Christian minister, but he sounding just like Elvis, looking like Elvis. Elvis didn't even change too much on his face and stuff. He just disappeared, and people just said he dead. Elvis is dead, and people ain't right for it. News tell you anything, and you just run with it. Bad boys, they don't know what happened to Hoffa. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling. A lot of these people, they be saying they passed away. They passed away, all right. They didn't change their life. You know, they might have too many. You get 3 hits out on you. You can go to Vegas and with the FBI, you can go on and change your life, be considered dead, but you done changed your whole life. I mean, man, yeah, it's so much out here. The rabbit hole gets deep, and the bad boy gets deep. You don't want to dive deep in no rabbit hole, because you dig so deep down up in that bad boy, you might not come out. You know what I'm saying? It's just that many rabbits down in them holes down there. It's so many holes down there, you might just run into a snake. So be careful going down them rabbit holes. You might bump into a snake. But anyway, with that being stated, family, we'll be coming back next time on an upcoming episode with some more of the street poison. And at least he was honest about what it is. This is street poison. This ain't no street healing. This ain't no remedy for street. This is street poison. I can understand them putting it out for we can understand that lifestyle they live in the dark, in the shadows, you know. But it's amazing. They made millions off these folks with this stuff. Then dropped them off like a piece of tissue. Used them up and discarded them like a piece of tissue, like they ain't nothing. All right, family. Well, until next time, let me go on and get this off of that. Till next time, hopefully you got something out of that. Got some entertainment out of it. Learn something new, something you ain't never heard before, never thought before, never seen before. and put you on a higher level understanding as far as what we need in this present time by learning from the past so we can go into the future with a blast straight to the top. All right there. So if you like this, think this was something good for you and our family, our people. I like family better instead of people. If you think this is good for our family, I'm meaning all black people, family. Okay, we know we got some crazy folks in the family. You know, you got your crazy uncle and your crazy auntie. You got the niece down the street. She over there twerking. You got your sister. Some of our sisters over there coking. You got some of our brothers down there drug doping. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so on. Well, you know we got crazy folks in the family. But we got to deal with them. We a traumatized family. We've been traumatized since we got over here, man. We've been traumatized real bad. Came over here, the bad boy traumatized before we even got here. Bad boy over there, we just over there chilling in freedom, you know, and some was already here as well, the foundation of blacks. You know, they over here chilling too. They out there get made their little location. You know, we ain't got to pay for no land and no water, no nothing. We ain't worried about no can't breathe and coughing and oh my God, what's going on? Ain't worried about no diseases, catching no smallpox and all this. We just out there living, you know what I'm saying? But then a man over there, a brother sold us out over there in Africa, the ones coming from Africa, sold them out. And half of them, a lot of them dove in the water trying to swim back to Africa. Forget that, before I go in. Bad boy dove off into the water, swim back, you know what I'm saying? Some of them took over the ships like, man, we ain't going nowhere. You coming back with us. We turn this ship around. We ain't doing that. No, it ain't happening. We turn this ship around going back. You know, they had the mothers out there with the babies. They had took the mama and the babies. Mama like, you ain't taking me out. You ain't taking me and you ain't taking my babies. Throw our babies up in the water. We dying right here before you take me somewhere else that I don't know where I'm going. No, you're not about to put no fear in me or my children. I'd rather me and my children die right now before we go living in some hell. Threw the babies in the water and she jumped in the water. Some pregnant women jumped in the water. You know, you might have had, I don't know about the men. Most of the time, the men, they're going to fight to the death. You know, they're going to fight. We either going to take it back, we're going to take it back over, or we're going to die trying. So that, you know, that after a while, they got smart and started putting chains on. Better, hey, Belly, make sure you got them chains on pretty tight. Matter of fact, that one right there, he's pretty hunk. He's a pretty big one right there. You put 2 or 3 of them on that one right over there. You know what I'm saying? So, and we've been traumatized. That's our family. We get over here, they putting us up in these dang on dark, like caves up inside the facilities, and we up in there chained up in jails and stuff with other family folks. We traumatized. We don't know where we've been, man. We was just free yesterday, rolling around there with kutu tachu, and we wasn't talking no English, so you wasn't on all them language and stuff. They wasn't talking no English. And then you come up out the jail cell. If some ain't died up inside the jail cell, you know, some died on the ship. You smelling like funk and from doodling on each other and pissing on each other, vomiting on each other. You down up in the jail. You come up out the jail cell. You just got over here. You come out, now they got you in chain and standing you up on some thing talking about, well, what you want for that one right there? What you want for that nigger? Yeah, that nigger right there. Matter of fact, let me get the whole family. No, we got to break up the family. You don't want them in the family, see. them bad boys in the family, man. You get the whole family, they make a plot and they be out. So you got to break up the family. You take one of the twins, I take the other twin. You take baby and you take the mama. You take the father and you take the mama. You take the brother, you take the other brother, you take the sister, and I take the wife, okay? And they got the slaves over here. George Washington, one of them up in there too. George Washington out there right with the rest of them, the one you studied in up in school. George Washington out there looking at them too. Well, let me get that little petite white whore right there, that wench. Give me that wench right there. That's George Washington over there talking about, let me get that black wench right there, the 16-year-old. You want the 16-year-old, but we got the 23 over here. No, I don't want the 23. I want the 16-year-old. But George, don't George me. I won't give her to me right now. You know what I'm saying? George out there, George Washington out there getting him some black tail. You know what I'm saying? George Washington wasn't the only one. You got other presidents. I want. Do you want the 22-year-old? I don't want that 22-year-old. I want that little 13-year-old boy. I don't want the girl. I don't want none of them girl wenches. I don't want none of them black girl wenches. I don't want them black grown wenches. I want that little 13-year-old black boy with the tight booty right there. For real, this ain't nothing new, y'all. For real. Butt breaking. That's what they call it. Butt breaking. They over there breaking in their butts. There ain't nothing new. This homosexual stuff ain't nothing new. The LGBTQ been around since we got over here in the town. We just wasn't out in the open and saying, yeah, I've been butt broken. That's all it is. You can call yourself a homosexual. You can call yourself a transgender. You can call you've been butt broken, period. You've just been butt broken. And that ain't nothing new. So I don't know why y'all be all like, I don't believe that he a homosexual. He a homo, that ain't nothing new. Ain't that our family been traumatized, man. Ain't nothing new. Nothing new. And for the girls too. Them white women had them some I don't want Peter, give me that little black girl wench right there. Have her licking her pussy. I don't want the cat doing it. I want her to do it. Ain't nothing new. Ain't nothing new. Now you have some young black women, they in hell and they want to be in a better condition. They black slaves. Some of them seduce the master themselves. They go out there, in the cotton field. They tired of picking this cotton, and they see Master Henry over there, and they go and slide down and make sure they can show Master Henry the nipples, and all of a sudden because some of them they hardly had no clothes on, all they had potato sack, and she just pulled up the potato sack so he could see her tail. Master Henry trying to be because his wife about to kill his tail. She found out, and she over there and seduced Master Henry. Master Henry and took over in the bushes and got her pregnant, and now she got a mulatto child about to pop out, and the lady see the baby, and she like, man, I don't know no white man having no babies, but this baby is real light. This baby look like the baby almost white. You know, Henry, the baby look like you. Master Henry didn't have the baby. He probably, but you know how a lot of them do before the baby even born. Either the girl get killed or they send her off to somebody else and so she had a baby by the man, and she going off on another plantation. That happened too. Or right when the baby is born, they take the baby from him, and the baby going over to Henry's brother house, Billy Bob. Billy Bob, I'm gonna need you to take this baby because I don't want Sally over here to know that this baby is my baby. So Billy Bob take baby and he keep the girl on there, and he's still tearing that excuse my language, he's still tearing that tail up all up in the bushes, all over there in the trees, everywhere. He have another baby. Billy Bob, I got another little wench gonna be coming for you. Oh, cool. I don't mind, because shoot, they helping me out on my plantation. Make it easy as far as me. I ain't gotta go and buy no more down at the downtown auction. And then, cause cousin over there, he having a hard time with his slaves over there. Them bad boys be jumping the fence, taking off, trying to go up north and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's good to know your history, because when you know your history and what's going on, man, these are true stories, and they just don't put them out in movies, but this the stuff that really be going down. Seriously. Yep. You can, and these are true stories, but you don't know who was the character in most time. But the character is in the past. You know what I'm saying? This stuff really is a blast of the past coming back to the future now through me to let you know this how it was. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of this stuff new. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. You feel me? Ain't none of this new up under the sun. They had the paddy wagons. They call them paddy wagons. Go out there. They wouldn't call the police cars and all this stuff. Paddy wagons. Go out there and grab that slave that jumped that fence. I know, Bruno, I know it's going to be hard sometime to find them, but you got to go on out there, you and Billy Bob, and find the goddamn on slave. The bad boy been gone for a day and a half. I'm just finding out. You know what I'm saying? Them bad boys. And if they find them sometime, you got somebody in their family just don't like black folks at all. He don't even make it back. That bad boy that shot him. Shoot him in the head, shoot him in the back, trying to run, shoot him in the leg. So he can't run no more, shoot him in the ankle. That ain't nothing new, homeboys in the hood, while you shooting your brother in the ankle. That ain't nothing new. They were shooting the slave master was shooting him in the ankle. But who doing it today? Boosie just got shot too, didn't he? In a splinter. Nothing new. Who looking like the slave master today? Oh, one of our sick brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? We just lost Mo 3 on the highway, man. On the highway. We got to stop this, man. There's a better way to solving these conflicts before they even become conflicts. I mean, seriously, man. And then I'm glad what's his name, Young Jeezy, was able to stand up and be a man about it, even though what he did as far as on my man Gucci was messed up. He was able to be a man about it and let Gucci go on and take out what he wanted to take out on him so they can go on and settle that and get that on out the way. We don't need that type of stuff. Just holding on to grudges and you take out this part of the family, they take out your and this and that, and both families had 100 people at the beginning. Now, ain't number 2 or 3 people left in both families because y'all couldn't squash something before it evolved, taking out all your family. So if you really want to look at it, by you not squashing it, you cause the rest of your family to be killed because you couldn't squash it, because you couldn't be the man enough to say, look, that's enough. I understand this. Don't need no more because I got 100 people in my family. I want them to go on to be able to enjoy their life. They losing their life over something that you started. If, as far as I'm concerned, if the family knew what was going to happen, they need to take your tail out the damn self. Look, you're gonna get all of us goddamn killed if you don't squash this stuff, homeboy. We need to wise up. I know I'm still zapping off, but till next time, family. Keep your heads on tight. Keep your head up. Stay focused. Read. Peace.